Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I still need to share the link out, so not everybody is here. But hello to the people watching the video. Hello to the people that were waiting for me in the chat. I hope all of you are having a fantastic. What's today? Thursday, I believe. Having a pretty good day. I just got back from work, so I gathered what stories I could. Considering the circumstances, I'll have a show tomorrow, just so everybody knows, and I'll reiterate it again at the end of the show. I work tomorrow, 12:30 to 8:30. For me, my shows are normally at 1:30, so I will be doing a show before then. Probably, I'm thinking around 10 a.m. Do a 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. show, Pacific Standard. So for those of you in Eastern, that's going to be 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be tomorrow. And then over the weekend, obviously, we have my deep dive. And then I also want to do some gaming stream and stuff over the weekend. But I've rambled on enough. I think I bought myself enough time to share out all these links, even though I really didn't because I got myself distracted. But I would like to welcome. I have a guest today, just one, except for later, in which I may get another. Just Mad Stork. Well, it's not just Mad Stork. It is Mad Stork.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry, Mad Stork. But yes, hello, Mad Stork. How's your day going? I know you could be with us only for a short time today.
I have had food poisoning all day. How are you doing?
Doing okay. Like I said, I had work this morning and I'm a little tired from that, but it's not like I do a whole lot. I literally just sit there and check receipts, so nothing too crazy. But yeah, let's say we get into the news. I know we were both talking about a little bit of the news before we went live. Is it just me, or is there just like not a whole lot going on today? I mean, the biggest story was like the Pope stuff. That was like the biggest thing today, right?
You should know better than to tell me there was no news.
Okay, look, no. When I say no news, Mad Stork, you know what I mean. I mean, like, there's nothing nobody's talking. Like, there's always a story that everyone's talking about, and that story today is the Pope. Everyone's talking about the Pope.
Yeah, we can talk about the Pope. It's fine.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the Pope right now. I'm just saying that's what everyone's talking about. That's
okay, fine. Whatever.
That's the news today. What we're going to talk about, Mad Stork, is what I told you we're going to talk about. I told you we're going to talk about. If I could
stop teasing me, then let's talk about that.
Well, if I can find it, hang on. This one. Wait, where did it go? No. Oh my God, where'd the link go? I had it.
Stop being a tease.
There. Look, I'm not trying to tease you. I swear. Wait, look. I also need to do that. There we go.
Okay.
All right, let's zoom in here. Okay, so Defined L's Kash Patel reveals they've been working on the Epstein files and will be released in the near future. Whatever the near future means. What do you think the near future means, Matt Stork? Because me personally, near future, like, I don't know, 8 months to 8 years.
I think I used to know Trendemir from Riot Games, and they came out with the soon TM kind of thing, the joke. And so this just seems like a soon TM.
Yeah, just soon. It's
soon. Just soon.
Yeah, it's just whenever we feel like it. Like I was okay. We'll watch the clip and then we'll talk about it more.
Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself, or did somebody kill him?
I don't know. I for a moment thought it was Jasmine Crockett's fire alarm.
There you go.
That's another story I actually need to pull up. I forgot to pull up an article about that because that is real. What Tim was talking about, that is real. Someone is doing that. It's hilarious. Anyway.
Senator, I believe he hung himself.
Yeah, what is that? What is that noise? He's got like a pacemaker or something going on behind him? Senator John Kennedy? That's very distracting. Sorry. Here, let me back up a little bit.
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
There you go. That's a good one. Like before I die soon, or okay. So far, just pausing here. What I find interesting so far is that Kash is reiterating that he did kill himself in the cell. So if he has all this evidence in front of him, I mean, I feel like he would have made not as definitive comments if that's what he felt like was true. You know what I mean?
I find it real interesting that he said specifically that he hung himself.
Yep.
I've always been of the opinion that he likely did. He likely did or assisted. He was assisted in the effort, and they covered up everything essentially so that whoever it was who needed to like
Look,
facilitate the situation
it's
could
very
help
normal.
facilitate it.
It's very normal to repeatedly say you're never going to kill yourself and then have supposed suicide attempts. And then it's very normal for the night that you do eventually do that, the cameras stop working and the security guards are
What
asleep.
what I'm trying to add to that though is I think he was basically offered a deal of if you do this, then we will make sure this, and this happens, kind of thing. I
Who,
think
like
he was,
Epstein?
yeah, I think he was given a deal basically of you are going to do this or we are going to do this.
I
And
don't
he was
know.
like,
What
that's,
could they have done to Epstein to make him want to kill himself though? Like, or what were they going to give him or people he knows? You know what I mean? Like, I don't
well,
know, man, because I think the whole point of what Epstein was doing, right, was to protect himself. So if he goes down, everyone goes down with him. I think he went down and then they killed him because they knew he was going to bring everyone else down with him. I mean, I
let
could
me
see
ask you
that.
this question.
I could see that just to finish. I could see that as a possibility. That's an interesting possibility or outcome I never considered. Maybe he did do it as some sort of prerequisite for whatever deal he had made. Like, hey, you do this, we'll make sure that Ghislaine, gets this deal or whatever. She gets set up somewhere or whatever
Mhm.
the deal was. It could have been something like that. Maybe
I'm
that's
going to say
interesting.
this as YouTube friendly as I can though.
Okay.
Um, do you think you could do what it is he was doing for 20 years and never have any kids?
Um, that's not something I really want to think about, Matt Stork, in terms of Epstein. um,
No,
God,
I'm
I
being
hope not.
serious for.
No,
I'm
I
being
know.
real
God, I
serious. Like,
hope not. I hope not. I hope he. Man, I don't want to say that either. I almost said something terrible.
yeah.
I hope he aborted all of them, but I don't hope that. I hope he just didn't have any kids. I hope he was infertile. I don't hope he aborted a bunch of kids. I don't hope he had kids. I hope he was infertile.
So let me throw this out there, okay? If you did what you did as Epstein, you probably have a couple of kids out there, okay?
Yeah, Genghis Khan.
And they're probably hidden away. They probably have some sort of secured, set up, funded trust. And the U.S. government could go to him and say, hey, we know about all these. And your options right now are to do what you did, do what it looks like he did, or we will basically go in and confiscate all the money from the trusts. Trust. Ugh.
Or it could be worse than that, right? It could be like they know his kids and they're like, hey, you do this for us, or your kids go into that same ring you were helping perpetuate.
Well,
It
yeah, I
could
mean
be
they could
things
do
like
that
that too,
too, but there's all kinds of laws in the
There's all
U.S.
kinds of
about
way he
going
could
after
get.
money.
I know that makes a lot of sense. You target his kids, and
Nope.
there's nothing a parent wouldn't do for their kids. So I've been told. So
I strongly wonder if that was what the actual deal is, whether or not there was a deal to protect Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine, whatever you want to call her,
yeah,
depending on how graphic you're trying to be. But the thing about it is I think he was probably with her for a very, I mean, he was with her for a very, very, very long time. There's graphic details of them being together, kind of thing. And so I think he probably made a deal for her not to be gone after, which is why it took a year or two before I think they went after her really. And then in addition to that, I think there's some little Epsteins out there running around somewhere, and I think that was part of the deal.
man, what would you do? What would you do, Mad Stork? You go around, you have your mom, never know your father, and you grow up, and then one day you find out you're 20 years old. Your father was Jeffrey Epstein, and all the money your mother was using to raise you over the years was funded by him.
There would be nothing I could do at that time except for take the money and do what I've always planned on doing if I ever win a lottery, which is take 3 million of it, put it into a 3%.
There you go. I mean, that's the correct answer because I mean, there's nothing you can do, right? Like
No, there's literally nothing you can
that's
do. All
that's
you
just
can do at
life.
that point is just
Yeah, that's
accept it
just
and
your
move
life,
on.
man. But
Yeah.
No, so and Joey, to your what you're saying in the chat, ain't no way he hung himself. LOL. I mean, Steven Crowder proved that he could technically do it. It would just be incredibly ridiculous and hard. So, and even then, like Steven barely did it. Have you ever seen that live stream Steven Crowder did?
No, I haven't seen the live stream. But
He,
again,
he
there were
literally
no.
he
Go
literally
ahead.
set up a mock prison cell, got
Mhm.
access to the same sheets that he supposedly used and everything, or similar everything, and
Mhm.
on stream with a bunch of protective gear, tried to kill himself the way Epstein did.
The only reason that I would say, like, again, that it's possible, because all the cameras were off, everything was there. I think somebody facilitated it if he did it. Now, if he's not the one who did it, I mean, I can fully accept that somebody, took him out of the equation, kind of thing. But
No matter what, I think we can all agree that if Epstein did kill himself, it wasn't because he wanted to.
yeah,
I think we can all agree there, at
yeah,
the very least.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So whether he actually did it himself or if someone made it look like he did, either way, it was under duress or it was under threat, or someone had, obviously they have something on him, but something we don't know about. Like children is a good thought, especially someone like that is very secretive and has a lot of relations. Definitely could have some kids out there. The simpler
The
solution is
forced
usually
unaliving is what I'm going with. Sick,
yes.
shitty gov. Yeah.
Yeah. Simpler solution is usually the answer. It's be simpler to assume he was killed or forced to unalive himself. Yeah, I mean that's basically it, right? But let's see the rest of this clip, because I did find that interesting. I find that interesting that Kash would those were very definitive terms. He said
Yeah.
without shadow of a doubt. So at least that's off what he's currently saying, right? Maybe he'll be going through the paperwork and he'll see something else and change his mind later. But that's his statement as of now. So let's see the rest of this clip.
We've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Reid.
So I don't know what CSAM is, what he mentioned there at the end. Do you know what that is?
If I remember correctly, it's like financial thing or something that basically lets you know who somebody is by other means. It's all protecting essentially the victims, from what I understand. But a lot of that is always going to be looked at very skeptically, because if you don't know what happened fully, then you don't know what happened fully.
And then so he says that the way he said we're trying to release things in a way that protects victims. I feel like that's a vague way of commenting on the recent suicide, supposed suicide of one of the victims or the witnesses, right? Regarding the Epstein case, a lot of people say that maybe it was fake and she's in witness protection. I don't know. That comment from Kash right here, he said they're trying to put out information in a way that protects victims. So maybe she is actually in protection right now. I hope so. I don't want her to be dead. Her testimony is very important for trials going forward, especially with that recent thing that we had from James O'Keefe. I should pull that up. I haven't talked about that yet.
CSAM particularly stands for child essay material.
Okay.
That's what it stands for, and essentially it is protecting the victims, but it's not the financial thing that I thought it was. It's a different thing, essentially. It's a set of standards and guidelines to protect against blaming victims and other things. I do have to go soon. Is there any way we can talk about the lacrosse-looking thing that I linked you in Discord?
Oh yeah, I can pull that one up. You wanted to talk about that one?
I do want to talk about it. I do have to go soon, though.
Yes. I'll pull it up right now. Okay.
It's the second to last link I sent you.
Yep. That's wrong thing. Every single time it jumbles all of my windows when I go to share screen. This one, teen shot killed by Virginia homeowner was reportedly doing TikTok challenge. So Matt Stork was telling me about this just now.
This isn't the same TikTok challenge. It's a different TikTok challenge that got these guys shot. And
okay, well, so you know the story on this. Do you want to break it down, or should I read the article?
you can go through the article real quick. I mean, I can break it down in real quick terms, though.
Okay, well, so here's the brief, right? So an 18-year-old was shot and killed by a homeowner in Spotsylvania? What the what? Spotsylvania? Okay.
Spotsylvania County over the weekend.
Yeah, no, sorry. Names trip me up, man. I suck at names, and that one I was not ready for that. The homeowner believed the teen and two others were attempting to break into his home. One of the boys that was also shot by the man said they were recording themselves doing a TikTok ding dong ditch challenge. Oh God. Northern Virginia man is now facing multiple charges after investigators say he shot and killed a high school student who he believed was trying to break into his house. A friend of the teen claims it was a part of the TikTok challenge that turned tragic. So, why did you want to bring this up, Mad Stork? What did you want to add on this?
Sad that everything happened, and I just kind of wanted to show that people who are engaging in the TikTok challenges essentially are engaging in activities that are very dangerous and all of that. But I really wanted to talk about that last link. I just wanted to preface that last link
Okay.
with this story. Okay, last link. Come on.
Okay. Pulling it up. Trying to be as quick as I can. Every single time I screen share, it changes jumbles the whole thing around. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, what is this? What is the video? First of all, is someone pouring?
That's an ad.
I know, but they were pouring like Listerine on chicken. All right, so destructive Kool-Aid Man TikTok challenge trend revived by NYC teens. What do you mean revived? This isn't the first time they've done this challenge?
It is not the first time. I'm going to send you a new link of a YouTube video so you can just pull that up real quick. But essentially, the destructive Kool-Aid Man TikTok challenge, these are teens running full speed into fences.
Oh yeah, we got a before and after picture.
Down. Yep. And they're basically busting through, going, "Oh yeah!" And there's no way that these teens don't have concussions basically after doing this. One, and two, that is it. It's called the Kool-Aid Man Challenge, and these people think it's a good idea to run into fences full speed.
I don't recommend it, but if someone wants to do it for my amusement, I'm here for it.
You are okay with the destruction of property for your amusement?
No, they need to do it on their own fence. Yeah, no, I'm not saying to come to my fence and do it. I'm saying do it at your own property.
Yeah, don't come.
And you can do whatever you want, and please film it because I would love to see it. But don't go to someone else's house and do it.
You can fast forward through this a little bit.
Yeah,
it'll show the actual video of what's going on there.
What? Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, whoa.
This guy's face, dude. What? Is this the
homeowner?
Right
there, yeah, right there. I think that is the homeowner, but yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to roast him like that. I wasn't ready.
I understand. He wasn't ready.
Dude.
Yeah, they just run into fences. Now,
if you pause that was just a straight up drive-by. That was a straight up drive-by Kool-Aiding.
Yeah. So if you look at that one real quick, those fences have a center section.
Yeah.
And so they're much harder to break through because it has that crossbar in the center. And some of these fences actually have metal running across the top and stuff like that. And they may or may not have that center support. Yeah. So I'm more worried, honestly, about some of these teens being incapable of busting through the fence and literally just giving themselves a concussion. Because there's all kinds of ways to build fences these days.
I don't know. There's some fences, man. You break through that fence, you can get fucking impaled. You don't know what's on the other side of the fence.
Well, I mean, not just that, but I mean, dogs are sometimes on the other side of these fences.
Oh, dude, if someone did this to my yard, my dog would literally kill them. So,
yeah, I mean,
80-pound bulldog is gonna latch onto you, dude. You're fucked.
Yeah, you're not coming out of this clean, man.
No.
And so that previous story about the guy just ringing the doorbell, kind of in the middle of the countryside and running away, kind of thing. That's something, right? That's, okay, we can get into an argument about whether or not you should just come out, guns blazing kind of thing. But somebody does this to a fence? Holy hell. Holy hell, Tyler.
No, seriously. Stupid as fuck challenge. I mean, why? I mean, like I said at the start of this, it's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie, but this is someone else's property. If you're on your own property, you're knocking down an old fence, haha, that's funny. But you doing drive-by Kool-Aidings to random people's houses? No, that's not funny. That's stupid.
Yeah, but that's literally what they're doing. They're busting through fences. There's all kinds of videos, like night vision stuff. This is actually like,
Well,
it's
look at
not
that
like
one.
the biggest TikTok challenge, but it's pretty big. Oh yeah, that one had like at least 1, 2, 3, 4 people run into it.
But what I mean is, like, look, there's literally a tree right behind this one. This dude ran into a tree.
Yeah,
Like these other ones, you could see they tried to like hit that gap, right? Like they probably should have hit here, not over here. But this one, that's just full tree. That's just a full tree right there.
they're
They
not
didn't plant.
sending the best and brightest. Okay.
They're not. That, but well, you know what it was. You know what it was. First one, he got it clear, clean. Second one, still got it through, not as good. Third one was rough. Fourth one barely made a dent.
Pretty much.
It was all one guy. It was all.
I hope not, dear God. This is CTE. Like people have talked about like CTE and football and stuff, right? And I'm kind of split on that. I don't want to get too much into that argument, but there's no way that people doing this multiple times don't get CTE.
No, absolutely. I mean, like you're saying, like they're quite literally breaking through metal. So
yeah. So
but anyway, I know you got to go. So
I do. I just thought this would be a funny story to talk about. So
quick, tell me, what are your thoughts on the American Pope, new American Pope? I'm gonna move to that story.
I'm not real sure what exactly his whole thing is. I'm trying to look up information. If I remember correctly, the American guy was actually more conservative than a lot of what the other options were. But the Polish guy was the most conservative. So I don't remember if this is the South American guy or the North American guy who went to South America.
This is the North American guy that went to South America, and then he has a lot of the same views as the last Pope.
Yeah, so I'm not really down with that.
Yeah, neither am I. I mean,
I thought he was more conservative though than the last Pope.
Well, I have this article pulled up. Let's see. Sorry, I know you got to go. I'll pull it up real quick. Close this. This one right here. If you go down here, one of his bigger issues is climate change, for example.
Yeah, in favor of
where he stands.
I want to see the formal deacons. Okay, female deacons, he's not there. The blessing same-sex couples, that's the other one.
He's ambiguous, so he can go either way on that.
Yeah, he swings both ways. Got it.
Yep.
And the rest of them, he's just questionable on.
Yeah,
they should have gotten the Polish guy.
Unknown. Promoting a synodal church?
Yeah, a synodal church. I believe that's the Latin Mass, is it not?
I'm not sure. I would have to double check on that. But yeah, all the other ones are still unknown. So yeah, his biggest issues are climate change. He's not okay with ordaining female deacons, and same-sex couples. He's meh.
Yeah,
whatever on
it. It's going to dialogue, decision making. It's a little bit of a thing, I think, in the way that the church is administrated and a couple of other things. So I think that's essentially what that Assembly of Church Leaders does in the. It's whether or not I think it's vertical versus more horizontal integration or dispensation of authority, but that's a different issue kind of thing. Anyhow, you have fun. We will talk later.
Yep. Thank you very much, Matt Stork. Have a good one. Everyone, thank you. Give a thank you to Matt Stork for coming on the show, and I'll see you around, Matt Stork. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So with Matt Stork gone, we're gonna continue on with the show. There was more to the show today, guys. I got plenty to talk about. Not really, but we're gonna keep talking about some stuff. I got some stuff I want to talk about. I've been at work all day, so I just want to talk. I'm here. I'm hyper. I have a lot of energy, and I want to talk. So let's talk about it. So obviously, new Pope. Everyone's talking about it. I don't know if I should be excited about it. I mean, I'm not religious. I'm certainly not Catholic. But a lot of people are excited about it. I guess it is kind of cool to have an American Pope. Technically, this dude is an American, even though he's been all over the world for many years. Traveled to all sorts of places. There's a brief summary here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read some of it just to get an idea of who this guy is. So Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost is a former prefect of the influential dicastery of bishops. He is a Chicago-born prelate with views close to Pope Francis, who spent many years as a missionary in Peru before being elected head of the Augustinians. Okay, I said that wrong. Augustinians. For 2 consecutive terms. He was born in September 14, 1955, Chicago, Illinois. Prevost entered the novitiate novitiate, dude, I don't know how to say these words, of the Order of St. Augustine OSA in 1977 and made his solemn vows in 1981. So he's been in the church for a very long time. But like Matt Stork and I were just talking about, I mean, I'm going to have to wait and see exactly like what this guy does. The last pope wasn't very strong on anything. He was pretty weak on a lot of issues. Especially when it comes to like, you know, just religious teachings and stuff like that. He wasn't very strong on that. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I have this video from Nick Sortor showing the new pope. He I believe he gave a speech. I haven't seen the video yet. Like I said, I just got home from work and I pulled this up. Why does everyone hate Catholics? I don't know, man. Well, the climate changing, like it has since God created everything. If they just want to help, I see no problem. It's when they use it for dumb-ish, like wind turbines, is when I get. Yeah, most of us don't even like the Vatican or our priest, for that matter. I don't see why we are getting so much hate. Not like we are Jews. Well, I don't know, man. Religion in general just gets a lot of hate from a lot of people. I don't hate on religion because you know what? All religion is amazing, and all religion is good, and all religion is better than no religion. That's what I think. I think if we didn't have religion in the world would be a really wild place. That's what I think. Anyway, let's see. I said I was going to pull up a clip from Nick Sortor. Nick Sortor is this the right thing? Yes. Okay. Why is it so zoomed out? Breaking: an American Pope is just he said Ian chosen. Just Ian chosen. What the heck, Nick Sortor? You're a big X account. You can't be making typos like that, homie. Come on. Anyway, where is it at? There we go. So this is the first in history to have an American be the Pope. The Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago will be Pope Leo XIV. So let's see this clip. I think this is from Fox News. Yeah.
Whoop! There we go. Here we go.
Let me see first. Here we are.
Cardinal Lamberti.
The Cardinal Proto-Deacon.
Dominic Lamberti.
And he's smiling.
He's smiling.
You can tell he's trying not to smile, but he's clearly happy. That's cool. It's a very odd microphone.
Suspense.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum. Habemus papam.
I can't hear him.
Habemus papam.
I don't know what he's saying. Okay, well, that's cool. So yeah, new Pope emerges from Vatican balcony. Like I said, we'll just have to wait and see, kind of, to I don't know, see what decisions he makes, what he does for the church, and all that good stuff. Tyler, you said Catholics like it was a dirty word. Hear it a lot. It's all good. When the British come again, you folks will want us Catholics around. Well, I say Catholics like I say Christians, right? Like Christian, Catholic, the Jews. I don't know. I just say things like that. Don't take it offensively, man. I have no hate towards any of the religions, honestly. It's just the people that turn the religion into some sick BS. Those are the people I don't like, in all honesty. Let's see. What other stories do I want to pull up today? Do we want to talk about? Let's see. I haven't read this article yet. Yeah, this one right here. Okay. I want to see this one. So I didn't have a chance to look into this one. I just saw the tweet and the article. So let's go ahead and check it out. We'll check it out together. We're going through this one together, guys. All in this together. Anyway. Secretary Rubio said his office is reviewing the visa status of the masked pro-Hamas thugs who were arrested after occupying Columbia University's Butler Library. So there's the tweet. That's the tweet. I also have the article. Let me go ahead and pull that up if I can find it. There we go. Rubio threatens to snatch visas from pro-Hamas thugs at Columbia University. So more than 80 protesters were arrested during the incident. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said his office is reviewing the visa status of the masked anti-Israel protesters who were arrested after occupying Columbia University's Butler Library. We are reviewing the visa status of the trespassers and the vandals who took over Columbia University's library. Pro-Hamas thugs are no longer welcome in our great nation. The announcement comes as the Trump administration continues to crack down on foreign visa holders participating in activities aligned with terrorist organizations, such as the anti-Semitic protest on college campuses. Well, this is from the Daily Wire, so they're going to be very biased in the terms of calling them pro-Hamas and stuff like that. So keep that in mind as I read this. It is the Daily Wire, so very very biased. Catholics believe more in dogma than Jesus Christ. I wouldn't know, Amtrue. I have never claimed to know much about their religions. I was raised Southern Baptist. Go figure. See, I don't even know what the difference is between like Southern Baptist. Like, does that mean there's an Eastern Baptist? Like, I'm only half joking. I literally don't. Yeah, daily bias. Yeah, daily bias. Here's your daily bias, Joey. Daily bias. You need it. You need your daily dose. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said his office is reviewing these visas. The announcement comes as the Trump administration continues to crack down on foreign visa holders participating in activities aligned with terrorist organizations. The keffiyeh wearing protesters carrying large signs and chanting invaded the library to disrupt students studying in the finals, while inside the protesters vandalized walls and furniture and graffitied "Columbia will burn for the martyrs." That's pretty crazy on a glass case. Zionists don't deserve to live. Meet the leader of Columbia University's anti-Israel encampment. The school's anti-Israel group, Columbia University's Apartheid Divest, posted a video declaring that over 100 protesters have just flooded the Columbia University for Palestine. The language seems to be a nod to Hamas's name for its October 7th massacre of over 1,000 Israelis. Wait, what? Columbia University for Palestine? Wait, the language... Okay, hang on. Okay, I don't get what you mean by the language seems to be a nod to Hamas's name for its October 7th Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Okay, just because they said over 100 protesters have just flooded Columbia University for Palestine, that is not the same language as the Al-Aqsa Flood. All right, look, all right. Come on, Daily Wire. That's quite the fucking stretch, dude. I had to read that like 5 times to get what the hell you were saying. That's ridiculous. Like I said, daily bias. That's insane. I mean, I agree that these protesters, if they're not citizens, they shouldn't be taking over buildings and stuff. That should get their visa revoked. But if you're saying that, they're making it's a nod to the Al-Aqsa flood, all right, come on. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's quite the goddamn leap. The group declared the protesters were reclaiming the library for the people and renaming it Basel al-Araq Popular University. He was a Palestinian revolutionary writer who was killed in 2017 during a firefight with the Israeli Defense Force after opening fire and running out of ammunition. Wait. wait. So he was a writer who was killed in 2017. So this is way before the October 7th attacks and the current conflict in Israel. And this guy that they renamed the building after, he was killed in a firefight with Israeli Defense Forces after opening fire and running out of ammunition. So, it is daily bias. It is daily bias. So maybe they're just being biased here. But based on the way that they wrote that, what I have gathered from that is that this dude started shooting at the IDF and he ran out of ammo and didn't live to tell the tale. So, let's see. So true. Catholics are good people, but sitting and standing every 4 minutes gets old. I pray to Jesus Christ, not Mary. Hamas has guts to go, period. Islam is evil and a parody of Christianity. Interesting. Very interesting. And Hamas definitely has to go. I agree with that. It's just, I don't know how you get rid of... I mean, I'm sure Joey would love to talk about that, right? Because it's like, I've said it repeatedly, right? All the money from Ukraine, Israel, I'm going to say it again for those of you that heard me say it 20,000 times at this point. Take all the money from Israel, take all the money from Ukraine, Palestine, whatever. Take all the money, all this foreign funding, put it at the southern border, build up the nice fancy wall, and go and do some nation building in Mexico, take out the cartels. That's what I want. But when you talk about getting rid of Hamas, you also need to talk about what created Hamas. And what created Hamas is the constant attacks on the Palestinian people. So as much as I don't want to go into the topic, I genuinely could not care less about the topic, but it is shoved in my face every time anything related to it gets brought up. So I'll finally give my thoughts on it. My thoughts on the Israel and Palestine issue. They're both in the wrong. They're both fucking stupid, and the only way you stop it is if you stop both of them at the same time. Israel needs to stop expanding, and Palestine needs to stop launching missiles. Israel needs to stop bombing the shit out of their country, needs to stop killing their children, needs to stop killing people in general, stop taking their homes, stop taking everything from them. If I'm a 5-year-old and I see that my entire family has just been removed from their home, or worse yet, my entire family was bombed, and then all I hear for the next 13 years on my way to 18 years old is, oh, the people that did that was this people right here next to us. What do you think that's going to make? Do you think that's going to get rid of the terrorist, or do you think that's going to make more terrorists? When you go and bomb all these terrorists and then all that's left is all their children, what do you think is going to be left? What do you think they're going to be when they get older, when their entire country or their entire state is rubble? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to grow up and do the same fucking thing, and everyone sits here and is like, oh, but Israel keeps getting attacked by them. I could not fucking care less. Palestine needs to stop attacking Israel. Israel needs to stop attacking Palestine. Israel needs to stop fucking going over there and stealing all their shit. I get it. You guys want to expand. Good for you. I get it. You have the military power to do it. Cool. Good for you. Quit fucking doing it. Stop it. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. And all these people arguing about, oh, Palestine's in the right, Israel's in the right. No, neither of them are in the right. And the only way you fix this shit if you get both of them to stop now. You need to stop them at the same time. You have this issue with cars, right? Something breaks on your car. You continue to ignore it. It goes and breaks other parts in your car. You finally get around to replacing that part on your car. Well, guess what? That part you waited to replace, now it broke a bunch of other parts. So you decide to ignore those, continue on with your day. Those parts that got broken by the first initial part, they go on to break more parts. And the issue just keeps going and going and going and going. Point being, you need to fix everything. You can't just fix one thing and then be like, I'm going to ignore that. It has to be all at the same time, or it's not going to work. So Israel needs to stop everything that they've been fucking doing, and Palestine needs to stop everything that they've been fucking doing. That's the only way that issue is going to get resolved. And these people over here in the United States that are here on visas, or they're American citizens in general, those people, they're not going to change anything by occupying some library at a university. Literally, no one would have heard about this if like people online weren't talking about it, right? And I guarantee you, the people in Palestine, people in Israel, haven't heard of 99% of these protests. They don't fucking care. It's not going to change a goddamn thing. These people are probably just bored. I highly doubt they think it's going to change anything either. We had that recent protest in Washington. They were protesting the school's connections to Boeing. And it's like, yeah, because the school is really going to give a fuck what you think about Palestine while you're telling them to cut off ties with Boeing. The school's definitely going to side with you over fucking Boeing. Like, come on, dude. Look at that. Awesome. Thank you, Amtrue. Wait, let me pre-read it. So, there's been a few times where I don't pre-read it and I start reading it and things go bad. Name the terrorist from the other religions other than Islam. I will wait. So to be fair, it's usually them, right? But there have been terrorists from other religions. I can't name any off the top of my head, but I know there have been. But if you had a pie chart, right, it would probably be 90% Islam to be 100% fair, right? Here for a little bit. Hello, Tactical Tinkerer. How's it going? Hello, everybody in the chat that's just popping in. Amtrue, you said really? Yeah, I'm. There's no way that it's zero. There's no way that the number is zero. But what I'm saying is like you're saying in your Rumble rant. Thank you very much for the Rumble rant, by the way. The $5 Rumble rant from Amtrue. Forgot to say that. Like Amtrue saying, yeah, it's going to be majority Islam in terms of the terrorist attacks, right? But I don't know. You know what? To be fair, Amtrue, Jews commit terrorist attacks almost every fucking day at this point because of what's going on in Israel. And just because it's a government entity does not mean it's not a fucking terrorist attack. So there you go. I beat your comment right there. Jews. It was the Jews. Ask Poland. No terrorist attacks at all. Isn't Poland the... Okay, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Anyway, that is a war, not terrorism. Okay, so then there's no terrorist in Palestine. It's just soldiers in a war. Right? If Israel and the IDF are not terrorists, then neither is Hamas. That's what I mean by this whole issue is stupid. You want to, and I'm not saying you Amtrue. I do not mean to point out Amtrue because I did just read Amtrue's comment. What I mean by the whole situation is stupid because when people talk about it, right, it's like, oh no, this side isn't a terrorist, but the other side is. Like, Amtrue, are you going to say that the Palestinians are terrorists? It is a war. It was declared after October 7th. Yeah, but they've been in conflict and war for a lot longer than that, right? That's just the most recent conflict. And again, if the IDF aren't terrorists, then neither are Hamas. I think that they are both terrorists if we're going by the criteria of terrorism, right? You're committing violence in the aims of political change or political, persuasion. So, and most wars, by the way, are terrorism. Most war is terrorism. So, that's also true. I think both things can be true at once. You can say that it's a war, and I can say that it's a terrorist attack because it is. It's war, but it's also terrorism. So, it's both sides. One man's terrorist attack is another freedom fighter. Think about the Revolutionary War, right? Think about what would have happened to Washington and all the people that signed the Declaration of Independence. Do you think they would have been labeled terrorist if we lost that war? Do you think they would have been labeled terrorist? 100% they would have been labeled terrorist. Got Joey getting his stuff set up right now. Let me read some of these chats. Let's see. It is a war. It was declared. Okay, let's see.
Terrorist.
Truth is based off perception, and yours is lacking. Well, Shitty Gov, we could have some civil conversation just because we disagree. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Maybe don't talk about ish you obviously know nothing about. Come on, Shitty Gov. You could like I said, civil. Yeah, Gaza had autonomy since 2015. Ruled themselves. They elected Hamas to run them. Keep it 100. Yep. Oh, hello, Joey. I'm just talking about our favorite topic. I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but I was basically saying that you can't call Hamas a terrorist and then say the IDF isn't.
Yeah, they do similar things.
They do similar things, and like I was saying before that, if we're gonna fix the issue, because I was talking about the what's his name, Marco Rubio is talking about removing visas for a lot of these people that take over buildings for protests and stuff like that, which I'm perfectly fine with that. In relation to the article, we'll go back to that a little bit. In relation to the article, yeah, I'm in full agreement with that. If non-Americans come over here, they have the freedom of speech. Yes, 100%. Say whatever you want. Go stand on that corner sidewalk at an intersection. Hold up the world's biggest sign ever. I don't care. You're not allowed to take over buildings. That's not cool. That is not going to be tolerated. And yeah, remove their visas. But before you joined, Joey, I was just saying that these protests are pointless and stuff like that. And the only thing that's going to fix what's going on over in Israel and Palestine is if you get both of them to quit their shit at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's just, yeah. Because if you stop Israel, if you get them to quit doing all their shit, taking over different lands and houses and stuff like that, Palestine's going to keep doing all their crazy terrorist shit, right? But if you stop Palestine and stop all their crazy terrorist shit, then Israel's going to be like, cool, we're going to keep expanding, take more territory, kick you guys out of more homes. Like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to do it both at the same time.
Or you just got to let them fight amongst each other.
I mean, that's the other option too, right? I would prefer nobody be killing each other, Joey, personally.
Well, I know, but the fact of the matter is that both sides just believe that they have a right to something, and it's just like
I know it's similar to the what's going on with Pakistan and India right now with that disputed territory, right? They're arguing about who actually owns it. So it's like, well, what do you do in a situation like that? Like, two people lay claim to a certain area. It's one of those things where literally it's survival of the fittest. Whoever is the fittest will get to keep the land. So it's Darwinism, right, Joey?
Yep.
Any thoughts on revoking the visas of protesters that take over buildings or vandalize things?
Oh, about the for Israel. I mean, I've had
just in general. Like this. So this is specifically. Okay. Yeah, this is specifically about the pro-Palestine protest. But what I want to more focus, or I want to expand the thought. Right? Should we, as a country, say that if you come here for schooling on a visa, that if you go and do a building takeover, street takeover, vandalism, spray painting, stuff like that, should we revoke their visa?
if you're doing anything anti-American, you should,
or just breaking the law, right?
Breaking the law. Yeah, well, that should be a given. Honestly, I thought that was already a thing. If you break the law in this country, then
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
that's what I thought. So you'd be in favor of revoking the visas then of people that took over a building, for example?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, like, you have the privilege to be in this country. It's not a right, especially as
Absolutely.
an immigrant.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if they're just standing out front of the library, you know, with a megaphone or whatever, talking about how they support Palestine, whatever, yeah, cool. You can stay in the country. I don't agree with what you're saying, but you're not doing anything illegal. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Anywho, final thoughts on this before I move on?
Nope, no more thoughts.
You don't want to
Pretty
give me your
simple.
Israel Palestine thoughts, Joey?
I've given that enough.
I know. I don't normally talk about it, so I actually went on a rant right before you joined. So I try my hardest not to talk about it because I genuinely don't care. But I keep seeing so much information about it that I finally have an opinion formulated enough to where I wanted to share it. And yeah, essentially both sides are fucking stupid. Everyone's wrong, and deal with it. Anyway, so I really wanted to react to this clip, and now that you're here, I guess I'll react to it. So I felt like this clip was very powerful. This is in relation to abortion. I don't know how you feel about that Joey, but this clip was just very powerful for me. So I'm gonna play this clip uninterrupted, and then we'll talk about it after.
In the summer of 1970, a 14-year-old girl was raped at a 4th of July party. 9 months later, she gave birth to me. I was given up for adoption, was raised by a Christian family. When my dad had a policy when we were kids that we could take him aside and ask him what a word meant if we didn't know what it meant. I heard abortion mentioned in school when I was in elementary school by a high schooler, and I didn't know what it meant. And the night he explained it to me, I didn't hardly sleep. Because I grew up on a farm where we did everything we could to save every single animal born on that farm. And to know that people were killing their children because they were inconvenient horrified me. And from that day on, I was a pro-lifer. The circumstances of my conception do not determine my worth as a human being.
So obviously, I shared that clip because I have some thoughts on it. But do you have any thoughts you'd like to share on that clip, Joey?
I mean, I'm not really pro-abortion, so.
I mean, I've told you I consider myself an abolitionist. I don't think pro-lifers go far enough.
No, they don't. But
I mean, I would vote for pro-life. I would vote for
there's-
pro-life policy, but the goal in mind would be the total abolition.
I think they don't go far enough because, unfortunately, there is so much ground seeded that if you swing so far the other way, then the normies are just going to reject it. So it's like slowly dog walking, like it is with everything else.
Yeah, but
get
so
back
the
to
reason
a certain point.
The reason I brought up this clip though is I felt it so powerful because it's like, imagine all the people that just walk around, you know, throughout their day, and they hear all these arguments about who's okay to abort and who's not okay to abort. And often a lot of even pro-lifers will say it's completely fine to abort a rape baby. And it's like that baby had no say in being created. It has no say in being uncreated. You don't know what kind of life that baby's going to live. And no one's forcing the mother to keep it. A part of the crime was putting that baby in her in the first place, and you don't get to commit another crime to take it out.
I think a lot of the times when people make those arguments, they're not doing it because they want it to happen. They're looking for it's like a
concession.
No, it's kind of like they're trying to identify. It's like a balancing of rights. You know, like this woman didn't choose to be, you know, raped, and yes, the baby is not choosing to be conceived, but it's like this gray area of, well, the woman didn't choose to be raped either. So I think that's what people are probably concede on that one, because it's at least understandable from the woman didn't choose it, you know, rights point of view type of thing.
And Tim has talked about that, right? Because it's like, the baby doesn't have any consent in the matter, but neither did the mother in the terms of, sexual assault. And in that regard, I do truly feel feel for the people that have to deal with that. But again, that's a part of the crime. And I don't think you should commit another crime against humanity in order to supposedly correct it, right? People say it all the time. It's something you tell kids. 2 wrongs do not make a right. So as wrong as everything that happened to those women are, I think it's also wrong to go and end the life of that baby if they choose to do so willingly. Obviously, there's circumstances that come up where you have to do that. And I'm obviously fine with that. Save the life of the mother. That's the most important thing. But when it comes to children and babies, yeah, I think the government has a duty to protect life in this country. The government's sole duty and main priority should always be to protect the life of their citizens and the people in their country. So if we aren't protecting life at the very beginning, then I don't see us protecting it later on.
I mean, it's a fair point, and like, I mean, for me personally, like, it's hard for me to argue either way because I do understand the encroaching upon the woman's right to not be raped, and then the subsequent we shouldn't double down on tragedies. But like, all I'm saying is I understand why people give that concession.
Yeah, and it's called it. If you guys want to hear more about my opinion on the topic, I did do a deep dive a couple weeks back with Matt Stork. We went deep on the topic of abortion, where it comes from, how it got started, and who were the perpetuators of it early on. But last thing I'll say is, guys, go and watch the movie Nefarious. Or you could just look up the clip that I played during. So I played a clip during the deep dive. They have a great way of explaining how abortion is child sacrifice in the modern day. And essentially it is. Instead of a priest at the altar, you have a doctor with his scrubs at the medical bed, right? Instead of a baby being burned to death, it's being, scraped apart and vacuumed out on the table. So you still have your altars, you still have your death priest, but they just look different now. Anyway, final thoughts, Joey, and we'll move on.
Yeah, try not to put yourself in a position to where you we would even consider getting an abortion. So if you're not going to wait till marriage to have sex, practice safe sex then. Very simple.
Yep, exactly. And if you practice safe sex and
keep
you
the
end up with a
blicky
kid
on you.
anyway,
Keep the blicky on you so you don't get EPARD.
there you go. I say that all the time, right? You want to stop most crime in the country? Just give everyone a gun. Give everyone a gun. You're good.
There's nothing more women's rights than being pro-gun. So
absolutely, yeah. There's nothing more anti-women than being anti-gun. So anyway, let's move on to this story. I'm sure you'll have fun with this one. So Bernie Sanders, he's been getting a lot of backlash over his use of private jets. I'm sure you've seen people talking about that, right? Yeah. Why is he going around in private jets as he complains about climate change and other people using air travel and stuff like that? So he was actually on Fox, and they outright asked him about it, like, "Hey, you use private jets while complaining about other people doing it." So he said, "You think I should be sitting in a line at United? No apologies." So he basically said he's better than you. He does not need to wait in line because he's more important, and he has places to be. So that's why he uses a private jet. Because all of you fine people don't have places to be. And shouldn't be using jets. You should walk anyway.
Yeah, everything he does is more important than what you do.
Absolutely.
That's how it.
Actually, before I play this clip, I do want to read some of the chats because you guys are blowing up the chat right now. So I'm gonna read a few of these. Watched Nefarious quite a while ago. Yeah, great movie. I loved it. Now you're going back to Ball. Yep. Abortion was created to stem the flow of being born. I'm always amazed that the left squares that circle. Nefarious is a great book. The second one is decent, not as good though. The movie is a B-. Margaret Sanger was their hero until she wasn't. So yeah, we talked about a lot of that on the deep dive. We talked about its Marxist roots and stuff like that. Bernie doesn't give an F. He sold out a long time ago. LBJ was terrible for black people. I blame LBJ for black culture today. And for killing Kennedy to get into Vietnam, LBJ somehow find a way to be worse than Todd Howard, and that guy sucks giant D. Hey, the man needs 5 houses. Just ask him. What? USS Liberty, Gulf of Tonga, JFK assassination. Okay, yep. Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to play this clip of Bernie Sanders, and then Joey's got to go start up his show in 10 minutes. And
not
then,
only do I need to start my show, I need to start
yeah.
the
Joey's a busy man today, guys. So,
Yeah.
I know Joey's going to be with us for just a moment longer. But let's play this clip real quick. Get your reaction, and then you can go, Joey.
5 rallies in a week.
Right,
The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000
Hang on.
people. 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United, waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future. 5 rallies in a week.
So this is just a partial clip, but in the full clip, he also even mentions like, hey, Donald Trump, you think Donald Trump's not going to take a private jet during his campaign trail? And it's like, yeah, of course he is. But that's not the point. Donald Trump doesn't talk about how airplanes are bad and how you shouldn't use them. What are your thoughts, Joey, besides him being a fat fucking hypocrite?
I mean, these people want to do this climate change stuff, but my lord, these people want to do this climate change stuff, but they never live by example. The good leader always leads by example.
Well, Bernie doesn't know what that word means, Joey.
Clearly not.
Oh wait, I tried to pull it up and then it didn't. There we go. Rumble gave me the business for a moment. So Bernie Sanders bites back at Fox's Brett Baer questioning on private jets. It's the only way to get around. When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during campaign mode at National Airport? He asked Baer. No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy, noting that Sanders has spent well over $200,000 on private jets during his tour. Sanders and Rep AOC have been holding rallies across the country as a part of their Fighting Oligarchy tour. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4, 5 rallies in a week, and the only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people, you think I'm going to be sitting in a waiting line at United while, 30,000 people are waiting around? It's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. What is this Fighting Oligarchy? What's the oligarchy? Is that just big government?
Yeah, well, the oligarchy. Well, the left would consider the oligarchy to be. They always they never identify stuff. They always give this phantom they'll say words like the oligarchy, and we're like, all right, who's part of the oligarchy? Whereas people on the right can actually name some names.
It's a form of government in which power rests with a small number of people. Oh, boo fucking who? That's literally kind of how our government works.
Literally every
government ever. Because you need to have someone at the top. You need to have that small group of people. If you have 50 people and then war breaks out, you're sitting there, all 50 people need to be in agreement. You can't have power with all those 50. You need one dude at the top or a small group at the top that's just all right, go time. So that's just a stupid argument. But Joey, you got final thoughts for us? I'm going to send you on your way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go chit chat about some similar things that you chit chatted about, like the new pope, the new woke pope.
Hell yeah! Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it on the Quiet Part Pod. I will be over there after Joey's show.
Yes, there's a whole lot of crisscrossing going on.
Oh yeah, and then buy Rumble Premium, because you guys tune in tonight. Perhaps if we're both lucky enough, both fortunate enough, you may hear Joey and I call into Timcast tonight. If we're fortunate enough.
I can think of a question.
That too. I also need to think of a question. We'll brainstorm. Don't worry, Joey.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Joey. And I'll see you in a little bit.
Ciao.
And with him gone, you know what you guys get? You get a 1775 coffee ad. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Well, now's your shot. 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus and no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is the one. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble. Wondering if it's actually worth it? Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe in. There we go, guys. I think that was my best ad read. Bad read. That was my best bad read ever. Hell yeah. But anyways, thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for tuning in today. We got about 5 minutes left in the show, so I'm going to give my closing thoughts about what we talked about today. And then I'm going to send you guys over to Joey. So let me actually get Joey up over here because I need to get ready to send him over to you guys. I am typing the wrong thing. Oopsie daisy. But anyway, so as far as what were we were just talking about Bernie Sanders. As far as Bernie Sanders, I mean, yeah, dude's a hypocrite. Not a whole lot I can add on that. Of course, he's going to come out and defend himself on this. No surprise there because, you know, it's rules for thee, not for me, right? That's usually how the government goes. That's usually how people in power go. They want rules for you, but the moment you turn around and tell them that they should abide by those same rules, they tell you that it doesn't apply to them. And you know, we always got to point it out because it's hilarious at the end of the day. It is hilarious because they're just putting their hypocrisy on full display for all of us to see. And that's the good part about it, right? That's the good. That's the only good that comes out of clips like this is that you see the hypocrisy on full display. And the other thing I want to talk about, right, guys, is obviously follow the channel as I give my closing thoughts here. But you know, it is what it is, guys. This is what the Democrats have to offer. I genuinely, I want them to put up someone better. Like what I've been asking everybody that's been on, right? Who are the leaders of the Democrat Party right now? Who are the names that get brought up when it comes to Democrats right now? Elizabeth Warren every now and again. AOC is at the top. Bernie Sanders is at the top. Gavin Newsom's he's hit or miss. I think he's trying to lay low still because he's trying to go for that more moderate push. But he's coming down off all that backlash from the California fires. So I think we're gonna see him. I think we're gonna see him in 2028. But we'll see how he does. But yeah, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Gavin Newsom, Cory Booker. I don't know. Like, there's not a lot of people that come to mind, and the people that do come to mind are complete idiots or don't have enough notoriety to get that nomination or to beat someone on the Republican side. Because, like, you think about who the Republicans have running, and it's like you have DeSantis, right? Trump Jr., you have J.D. Vance, you've got RFK Jr., you've got Vivek. Like, there's a lot of strong names that come to mind when you think about who's going to run 2028 for Republicans, right? You think about Democrats, there are no strong names that come up. But so let's see. Let's read some chats before we close out here. See. 1775 beer for when you want to drink like a founding father. Man, that's a good one, dude. Email their marketing team. Let's see if you can get paid for that. That's a good tagline right there. But let's see. We lose power for 3 weeks in the U.S. Rural people will have it back on or something rigged to provide it within hours. Would be a little inconvenient and uncomfortable. Gonna go smash Joey's like button before I gotta clock in. Later, y'all. See you, Tactical Tinkerer. Cities would eat themselves. Look at that. Look at my camera just turned off like that, folks. That's crazy. All right, that's fine. I'll wait. Actually, that's not fine. I never left. I swear. I never left. I was here the whole time. Don't leave. Don't you leave. Don't do it. I was still talking. And now all of my chats are gone. Now I got to go to my actual live stream and read them. The world according to Darwin works for me too. Rokana, evil communist, but well-spoken. Stephen A. Smith seems to be their pick. Really? Stephen A. Smith? I hope not. He not strong. None of them are strong picks. Am true for sure. Natural selection was a good thing. Stephen A. Smith wouldn't run. He doesn't have some morals and principles. Lol, too funny. And then cat typing. Hell yeah, guys. Well, I feel like that was a great show today. What about you guys? If you think it was a great show, if you thought it was a pretty good show, you should hit that thumbs up button before I send you over to Joey Cannoli, who's now doing a show. He's doing Outward Live, and then him and I we're going to be on the Quiet Part Pod. We're filling in for Chris today. So make sure you guys go over there and check that out. And then remember, tomorrow I am not streaming at my normal time. I work from 12:30 to 8:30, which is when I would normally do my show. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. That is 1 p.m. Eastern. So thank you guys. That's when the show will be tomorrow. And I'm going to send you guys over to Joey now and play my outro. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the support today. And again, thank you to Amtrue for that $5 Rumble rant earlier on in the show. Greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, one more thing I want to add. I'm going to do a 24-hour stream over the weekend. I really want to. I've been wanting to do that for a minute. And now that I finally have all my game stream stuff hammered out and I don't work the entire weekend, I'm going to do a 24-hour stream. We're going to be playing Warframe and Helldivers, maybe some Repo. We'll see. At least Helldivers and at least Warframe. It just depends on if I get bored, but 24-hour stream. So look for that. Anyways, here comes the outro, guys. Thank you. Peace out. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video today. If you thought that was a great video, great live stream, great whatever you were watching, make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, whatever you're watching, hit that follow, subscribe, and if you really want to support me, you could always share the video and comment down below. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Thank you, and peace out.